for the third and final stop on this really worldwide press tour from Riyadh to New York to now Las Vegas. Canelo Alvarez, the biggest star in boxing for most of the last decade, faces Terence "Bud" Crawford, a man who still holds the distinction in the minds of many, including my own.
It's going to be great. It's going to be a great fight. You're dealing with two all-time greats. Crawford's one of the best switch hitters, I think, since Marvin Hagler. And one of the most skillful boxers alive. And then you have Canelo, who probably isn't the same guy as he was. One of the greatest of all time. Still has brutal knockout power.
For many, many reasons for both fighters. Super middleweight supremacy on the line, legacies on the line, your namesake and reputation is on the line. And I just take my hat off to both of these fighters for putting everything on the line late in their careers the way that they are. This is rare, and it's becoming more and more rare in boxing.
Dan Rafael kind of made a great point when talking about sizes. Because he said, if you look at them two together now, they look the same size. He said, people have got the idea of the size thing wrong. It's not looking at them as a physical package. It's who has absorbed the bigger shots in the weight division.
Andre Ward drops a bombshell. The pound-for-pound legend is stepping into the Canelo versus Crawford arena, not a fighter, but as the third man in the ring. The tension? Electric. The first round? Absolutely explosive. This is boxing at a whole new level.
I'm out as well for getting this done. So I see y'all in Vegas, man. Part of me wants to be home watching this fight in street clothes, but I gotta take the street clothes off. I got work to do. I got to put that suit on, get ringside with John and Max, and call this fight like I know we can. Huge event, huge implications, historic night, and I'm happy to be a part. I hope to see you in Vegas at Allegiant Stadium. If not, man, tune in live on Netflix.
Meanwhile, Shane Mosley commented on the upcoming match, and while he was aware that Crawford had an extremely high skill set, he emphasized how weight was an obstacle. He noted that while Crawford had the talent to fight anyone, he wouldn't knock his purposes too hard, while also contesting that in moving up to fight someone who is naturally bigger like Canelo, it's no small feat and carries a significant degree of danger.
Canelo might be able to get Crawford, but anything can happen. I mean, Crawford can catch him on chin too. I mean, it's not like it's a for sure thing. It just seems that Canelo has speed and his power at that weight, you know, so it's gonna be hard for Crawford to do anything, I think.
The trailer captured the size of the match because both champions are also icons of their own time. Canelo, a two-time undisputed champion, completed the spectrum of risks in pursuit of undisputed status, as he has cleared each level of heavier classes with experience and determination to override weight lines, while Crawford, a bold mover indeed, made history by fully pushing the boundaries of weight classes.
How many fighters have ever been called the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world? These are two of them, and they're gonna fight.
On September 13th, the moment arrives. Canelo versus Crawford. A true super fight.
But through it all, one thing rang through the boxing community: weight. A number of pundits and former champions alike were still fretting about the proliferation of divisions and how it would affect Crawford. Showbiz the Adult stated he believed Canelo Alvarez entered this match with greater desire and was referring to the mental edge that the Mexican star could possess. He was also referring to hunger, which could be a factor in how the fight is played out.
I think Saul Canelo Alvarez is hungrier than Terence "Bud" Crawford. First of all, Canelo Alvarez, if you look at that press conference or the first series of press conferences, where Canelo said one thing, he thinks that His Excellency Turki al-Sheikh is against him.
And I know Turkey is in your corner, but look, it's gonna be very difficult. He's gonna be so mad that day.
He then provided the reasons as to why, citing the heated situations in press events in which Canelo had been provoked and insulted. He theorizes these types of incidents would fuel the emotional beast within Canelo to fight with an aggressive warrior mentality come fight night.
Two, how Terence Crawford in the second press conference walked up to Saul Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez pushed him because he didn't like that shit. He thought he was being fronted on. And he looked at Crawford and he said, I'm going to remember that.
Mentioned he had some apprehension with Crawford suddenly moving up in weight. He was careful not to mention the toll the quick bulking size will take against a giant like Canelo. Sanchez recognized the speed of hands and technical aptitude Crawford possessed, but he made it clear that pressure and strength would be huge to have prolonged success, where Canelo has a huge advantage. Jojo Diaz said he felt that the strength of Canelo Alvarez may make a world of difference in the matchup. He noted that it's going to be a high-class fight. He made his point by putting in context his belief that once Canelo lands clean and hard on the opponent, it is going to make a different story.
Canelo versus Crawford, who you got?
I got Canelo winning. I think Canelo's gonna knock him out. But
I think Canelo's gonna hurt him.
I think he's just too powerful, man, too strong. I hope Terence Crawford does well and stuff, man, because I love the way he fights, and he's a hell of a fighter, and I respect him as well too. So I hope he puts up a good fight and everything. But at the end of the day, man, Canelo, if he catches you, dude, it's gonna knock you out.
Using history to support his case, he reminded everyone that he had watched the experiences of Canelo Alvarez's other opponents. He said over and over that highly skilled, highly confident fighters came in with their own plans only to fold after taking Canelo's best shots. He said it was predictable and couldn't care how good they looked at first. They could not take that kind of punishment. And in his brain, Terence Crawford is no different. And when Crawford found himself in the position of taking that kind of punishment, he said it would be the same result. Crawford would not be able to take Canelo's power.
At the end of the day, I always say this. He took Golovkin's biggest hit, and he took Beeble's biggest hit. I don't think Crawford could knock him out.
I think Terence Crawford can knock Canelo out if he catches him, because with Gennady Golovkin hit harder, but he was a lot slower. Yeah. So when Canelo seen the punches coming, he's able to embrace. I think if Terence Crawford catches Canelo with a shot that he doesn't see coming, boom, then he could hurt him.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so.
This was not a simple question of skill. It was a matter of physical dynamics, how power, durability, and endurance would transfer in front of an opponent who had spent years being effective and dominating at super middleweight and beyond. Crawford may have elite level skills and IQ, but facing the challenge of trying to absorb Canelo's natural size with proven punching power would be an added danger to his quest, to say the least. The old-time trainer Brian McIntyre, Bomac, the person who got Terence Crawford to the top, had a clear view in saying that Canelo Alvarez's reputation as a knockout artist does not equal a victory here. Bomac pointed out that Canelo's power diminishes from rounds 5 and 6 onwards, especially against opponents that stay busy and keep the pressure and movement going.
Canelo is the bigger guy, right? But
he ain't the bigger guy.
That's what they say. They say he's wider, he's got more mass. How are you feeling about Bud going in there taking on Canelo's power?
But shit, I don't give a fuck about that power. Well, how you beat power?
Speed.
You said what?
Speed.
And what else?
IQ.
Timing.
Bomac identified stamina, ring IQ, and the ability to adapt once the fight gets going. Bomac said that when Canelo starts to slow down and throw less, that's when Crawford's accuracy and timing will really come into play. Bomac said Crawford will be in control, determining how many rounds it takes to win the title and doing so by a wide margin.
That's why you're the coach and I'm not.
I mean, you make some good, you got some good answers, but that power ain't gonna be able to sustain throughout the fight. Watch. And he usually slows down between 6 and 7. You slow down, that's a fucking rat.
Crawford also addressed his recent performances with a sharp eye as he ruled out any suggestion that the Mexican champion had seen better days. He was thankful for Alvarez and said that his one bad performance should not take away from his greatness. Crawford welcomed the most focused version of Canelo and knew anything, but that would be a devastating miscalculation.
Just fight my fight, you know what I mean? A lot of people, they have their opinions. They have, what's gonna happen in the fight, but they don't know what they talking about. They just gotta watch the fight, and then after the fight, then they make they comments, because a lot of people is just premeditated and just, talking.
He then made a bold statement regarding his intention to not be swayed by the prophecy or popular opinion. Instead, he promised simply to fight and let the truth take its course. Crawford calmly warned in a composed and steady voice, "This storm is coming."
Fighting the best fighter in the world, you better be taking it serious. You know, that goes to show, you know, how serious he's taking me and how much he respects me. Because, you know, if I haven't fought anyone, if I was too small, if I was, you know, all these things that all the media say I was, then he wouldn't need these guys to help prepare him to fight me. He wouldn't, you know, need all the help that, you know, he's getting. But I'm happy that he's getting the help that he needs because, you know, after, you know, September 13th, there'll be no excuses.
Crawford's camp has exhibited confidence, pointing to how seamlessly Crawford has transitioned to other divisions, and how he has seemingly solved elite opponents with incisive brilliance when he retains his composure. For many, Crawford's win over Errol Spence Jr., where he relied upon getting settled in and decisive ruthlessness, is still fresh in the minds of many as evidence of how he can rise to extraordinary challenges. Anthony Durrell was a huge fan of Crawford, stating that he is a big-time killer who has his opponent constantly avoiding danger. He emphasized that Crawford has versatility in every situation and was in awe of Crawford as one of the best boxers to step into the ring, but he was worried that Crawford wouldn't be able to stay disciplined for the duration of the fight, for whatever reason, as Canelo has a history of looking exploitable against pure boxers, but also is always a moment away from danger.
Crawford, my boy, I'm gonna ride with him, but I keep going back and forth, man. Terrence is such a dog, bro. Like he gonna come and bring the best out of whoever. He gonna make you stay on his P's and Q's. He adjusts to every fucking thing. Wow. He's just he a great fighter. Canelo can't deal with boxers. The thing is, can Terence Crawford box 12 rounds and stay focused on what he needs to do?
Durrell went on to emphasize the importance of Crawford's focus and poise, especially against the strength of Canelo. He admitted that Crawford sometimes unnecessarily pushes the limits to prove his toughness, and that it would be a costly exercise against someone with Alvarez's punch. The old man made it very clear, Crawford will win, but he cannot step outside boxing and therefore into Canelo's strengths.
I keep going back and forth with because he can beat him, but he just got to stay focused on what he needs to do, and that's box. Because Canelo, I ain't gonna say he can't. He just have a hard time dealing with it. So we gonna see, and can Bud, stand that power that Canelo, give him. But like T-Bud get hit sometimes because he wanna prove to people that he a dog and he got this and that.
Wade Plemons was talking about the magnitude of this fight, underscoring the weight that comes with both fighters. He noted that Canelo really needs to focus on this fight because it brings something extra.
There's just something about this one that makes it special. I don't know if it's the stakes on the line for Bud Crawford moving all the way up. I don't know if it's Canelo having this rejuvenation and this refocused mindset and attitude toward this fight to once again, even though he doesn't really need to prove that he's one of the greatest ever, once again taking that challenge to do it.
As there is a record-breaking deal with Netflix associated with the event, Plemons pointed out that this fight isn't your average championship fight, but rather a pivotal moment in the sport. For him, the fight represents the beginning of a different era of boxing, where mass media and professional sports intersect with the ultimate goal of power, increased viewership, and prestige for the sport.
Here with the Ring Magazine and Turkey El Sheikh trying to breathe life into the sport of boxing, but this one just is so important, I think, on a massive scale for what boxing's new era is going to be and stepping into a new plane and becoming, a sport that is refocused, especially here in America, as one of the big sports that we want to watch. I think it all really starts with this fight.
One of the talented American champions, Elisha Baumgardner, recently gave her take on what is so special about this fight and why it deserves a fight. She thought that Terence Crawford really had to scale a number of obstacles, and the most obvious one was the size of Canelo Alvarez. But as she pointed out, Canelo has a lot of experience and a long career against many different styles, giving him an advantage in reading and adjusting to opponents.
I would have to agree with the size. And I also have to note that experience is everything when it comes to boxing. And I feel like Canelo is a well-seasoned fighter, and he's been in the ring plenty of times with multiple great fighters. And we also see him with Bomac, who he lost to, which didn't really do anything bad to his career. He just took a challenge, which Terence Crawford is doing. So I commend them both.
Spencer Oliver gave Canelo Alvarez a stern warning that this could be the toughest fight of Canelo's entire career. But for Terence Crawford, Oliver presented a different narrative. This isn't just a fight that Crawford is stepping into. This is a moment of greatness. Crawford is embarking on a monumental risk, but with monumental rewards that can change the trajectory of a fighter's legacy. Oliver said this was one of those rare historical chances where one win could launch a name into legendary status. An incredible test that has the potential to either seal Crawford's mark forever or crush his heart in the brightest of lights.
The best fight in boxing, bar none. You know, we've got two of the best fighters in the world, and Terence Crawford trying to do what no other's done before, a four division world champion, and you know, jumping up from light middleweight now to super middle, trying to achieve the unachievable against Canelo Alvarez, who is pound for pound. Can he do it? I think he can. I think that this guy creates history. Terence Crawford is that good.
He then proceeded to praise the utter brilliance of Terence Crawford. Oliver said Crawford's abilities are so advanced, so refined, he may be considered in the conversation of the greatest welterweights of all time. Roberto Duran, Sugar Ray Leonard. To him, Crawford can be considered. But Oliver reminded everyone that greatness is not only talked about, it is proven under fire. For Crawford, that fire is in September, the ultimate test, the night that can either lock him in the legacy of the legends or have forever unanswered questions.
He lives with any welterweight. His best weight really has been at welterweight. He lives with any welterweight in any division for me, and that's including all the greats. You know, you're going back to your Roberto Durans, Sugar Ray Leonards, all those guys. I think that he is that good, and we find out in September. It's going to be a fantastic fight.
And so, the stage is set for a battle where legacy hangs by a thread and greatness is up for grabs. Canelo Alvarez has the hardest task of his career, and Terence Crawford will challenge himself to be honored amongst the greats of all time. September will certainly be an evening where skill, heart, and history collide. Who will emerge as the face of boxing for the new era? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Subscribe and like this video if you can feel the tension. We will be back with more fight breakdowns as we approach a night that could alter boxing for the better.